welcome back to your Leaguemates. Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. has come and gone, so waivers they've processed. Not a huge week.
Nah.
You know, it doesn't feel like there's a whole...
For some.
Waiver week for sure.
Not a lot of bangers.
Not a great week for me to have literally 3 open roster spots on my team.
That's the problem is it's not a great week. However, the amount of insufferable need from teams is at a high.
Yeah, I'm down bad. I have an open roster spot, 1 active running back, and Tank Bigsby.
You only have 1 active running back?
Well, I mean, Najee's on bye.
Jordan Mason's
kind of cooked.
Yeah.
Also on
He's
bye.
also cooked. He's also the worst fucking human being on the planet.
He is.
Why?
You see he hates women, that thing?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
What happened?
Nah.
I didn't see any of this.
So he goes off for the first month or whatever. What was it, like National Women's Day, scores 1 point.
Yeah.
National Mother-in-Law Day,
So
scores
nothing
1 point.
actually happened.
No, he probably loves
Also,
women.
we both played him probably in matchups where we needed him, and that's why we think he's the WOT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
All right. Who do we think is going to be the highest bidded on player?
I'm going to say Adam Thielen.
I think so, too. I was going to say it, but I didn't want to put that out there and get outbid because I
Yeah.
really could use
Okay.
Adam Thielen.
I mean, it's already done.
What is your bid, Tony?
I don't want to say. I gave him a max contract.
I'm going to end up not
You
getting
went
You went
max.
in on him?
How much money did you
From
have
hearing
left?
what you guys just said, I'm not going to get him. Damn.
Yeah, nah.
I mean, I threw out an $11.
Okay.
Sweet.
What's
My max is 13.
Sweet.
Mine, I may end up getting
I
him.
kind of feel like you put higher than that?
I'm higher than those.
Okay. I would say Thielen was definitely the high. I put 3 bids in. None of them more than $6 though, because the problem was like I like Thielen and he would have been my 1, but I already have Leggett. I'm like I can't have 2 Carolina.
I may
Panthers
end up
receivers.
being Tony of weeks past this week.
So Thielen, I think Elijah Moore will get some love, and then Parker Washington will get a little bit of love as well.
I sprinkled some on Parker. I actually didn't go after Elijah. I don't know. I feel like the offense, even with Jameis, is not sustainable for 4 people.
You think
Yeah.
Jags like Parker Washington over Gabe Davis?
Is Gabe Davis like
He's not 100% playing.
He's
for sure.
questionable.
he re-injured his shoulder or something? I actually don't know his injury status. So I might just be talking out of my ass.
Peterson-
Parker got a sweet $1 bid from me.
Peterson's a cone.
2
He
piece
also
for me, I
said
think,
he's supposed to
maybe
play,
3.
but I could see that ended up not being the
Yeah,
case.
I don't really know. I just like Christian Kirk out, and if BTJ misses time, I kind of feel like Parker might get some targets. But
Is he done? Because I feel like I've seen reports where he's
like day to day now.
could play,
Yeah.
also could miss 4 weeks.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I feel like it went from 2 to 4 weeks down to day to day, but I also feel like that's not really a likely scenario. I would not be surprised if he misses a couple weeks, but
Is
if
this
he
just
plays,
like
he plays.
is it like a pain tolerance thing?
Exactly.
At
I
this
think
point?
so.
Exactly.
It's like Jaden Daniels, but then like Derek Carr, both had the same injuries.
Derek Carr's just a pussy.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
Derek Carr's like a
BTJ,
bitch.
are you a pussy or
Yeah, Derek Carr just wants to sit at home and collect checks.
correct?
Yeah,
Which I don't blame.
coward.
I don't blame him, actually.
Although
okay.
I think he's going to go off for my team this week against Carolina, which would be nice if he
That'd
does.
be cool.
Happy for you and JMO, who is Kamara.
All right, should we get into the official biddings?
Yeah, I feel like I'm.
All right. Any under the radar, maybe players that someone like put a stack on.
I needed a quarterback so bad that I probably didn't need to spend any money on Minshew, but I spent too much.
Damn.
I feel like Minshew and Aiden O'Connell have like been picked up every single week.
That's why, like, again, in hindsight, I probably didn't need to throw as much as I'm going to on him. But at this point this week, I'm down to literally
I kinda wish I
Mason
did.
Rudolph and frickin' Will Levis is the only quarterback that I have.
That's
It's
great.
like the worst quarterback room to have.
So not
too.
only for in Warp, I like to look at Will Levis is actually below the line, which means he's the droppable quarterback. I have to carry 2 to even have 1.
Yeah.
It's like my roster construction's in.
It's
a
like the
horrible
bad
space.
version of like Indy for me, which isn't much better, but it's like the same.
Yeah, it's like the same idea except 0 upside.
Facts. All right.
Do you think the Richardson's droppable at this point?
No,
Superflex?
Yeah.
he's not
What are the
droppable.
bids?
I think he'll be out for like 1
Especially,
week.
If I drop Richardson, he would
Yeah.
go for $170.
especially if you have Flacco, like
Okay.
you 100% shouldn't be dropping him there.
I have Richardson in a Superflex home league. I'm dropping him.
No, don't do that.
I'm dropping this fucker.
You think he's benched for the year?
I respect that, but like I think
mean,
it's ridiculous.
Honestly, I have not been able to play his ass one fucking time to feel comfortable with him. At this point, he's wasting my roster spot. I'm cutting bait and goodbye. Good riddance.
I mean-
See you later, Anthony.
I mean,
Richardson.
okay, but if like that's a super flex league.
Yes.
How many? 12 teams?
Yes.
I don't think you should.
yeah,
go.
I think that's
I'm
insane. But
Cutting his fucking ass. See you later. Have fun in China, Rich.
Let's look at the waivers.
Goodbye.
Have fun in China.
Yeah, we're banishing
Ship
him.
him out
We're
of the
banishing
country.
him to Shanghai.
This is not
right
NBA.
now.
This is not a 40-year-old veteran in the NBA.
No, he's out of here. Fuck out of here, Rich.
Oh,
All right, can we look at these
Yeah,
stupid
yeah,
ass
yeah.
fucking Adam
I was going
Thielen
to take a
bids?
ton of fur. I hope I'm not doing that. Let's look at the bids.
All right. So the biggest spend this week was actually
Damn.
Isaac Guerendo.
Wow.
We
okay.
do
Why
for
did you
30
bring his
fab.
name up when we said sneaky stack?
Because I don't know.
This motherfucker was the guy who bid and didn't say anything.
Well, because,
That's
I mean,
that actually would have been hilarious if you were like, I think someone probably like popped
told
off
you-
on Isaac Guerendo.
I told you. I told you that I probably spent too much this week, but he looked good. I'm surprised. Did no one else bid on him?
Is CMC not back in week 10?
I don't
It,
even. But I
it
don't
looks
even
like
care.
no one else bid on.
That's kind of
Guerendo.
crazy to me. No one bid on him.
I think
I have CMC, so obviously there's
It makes sense that you
I
picked
guess
him up.
nobody can afford to have him on a bye week this week or something.
I mean, it's bye week. It's also like maybe Mason's fine by week 10. Maybe
to
C-Mac's
me.
back.
I guess there's 3 running backs though in this offense that you want. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, if he ever plays, would
I
be
think it was a good
one.
pickup. 30 feels
Yeah.
luxurious though.
Well,
on a bye week, I feel like you could have got by. I mean, you could have got by with like
obviously,
5.
hindsight 2020. Thank you, Andrew. I could have spent
Yeah.
0.
That's fine.
I just don't know if he is like. I don't know if his opportunity is really going to come. I don't really see him surpassing Jordan Mason, and then it's like it's either McCaffrey or Mason's going to be back week 10.
Yeah, it's more so I guess like Mason re-injured the shoulder. Is that like a long-term thing?
I'm just
To me, I think in general, like there's no way that you can guarantee me that either one of those guys is going to be healthy.
I mean, no, that's fair.
And
You have
Guerendo's has upside that I don't have much upside on my team as it is.
I will say
The
this,
only
Adam.
problem with him is he doesn't play this week, and I need.
I think if CMC doesn't play, like Guerendo looked better than Jordan Mason. Just being honest. So I feel like there's
Yeah.
a chance that if CMC is not back, Guerendo might be 1A in this backfield.
That's why I picked.
Maybe.
I
Still
did-
a scary start though. if
30
Mason's
for
active.
sure.
30 was obviously excessive, but
Desperate times.
I really wanted Guerendo, so I got him.
Alrighty.
Dropped Ray though. I feel like that was kind of your dude.
He was.
He was a fake dude for a minute.
He
for sure.
For
He
sure.
definitely
He wasn't a Khalil Shakir though.
He definitely did not give me much confidence the last few weeks, and I need to start. I think pivoting off of players that just don't have much value like him. You know,
That's fair.
It's probably a
good move.
good strategy.
All right.
Drop
and then-
bad players sounds great.
And then next highest, we have Gut, who picked up Parker Washington for $27.
God damn,
Couple
man.
bids behind him. You tried it for $7.
If I just would have reappropriated my funds, I could have had both for the same. You know,
Yeah, she could have.
So, I mean, like we said earlier, Christian Kirk's out for the year. Gut did own Christian Kirk, was playing him every week. So, I mean, I don't know. I also feel like Christian Kirk wasn't great to begin with.
Nah,
Gut's been
it's
pretty set on playing Christian Kirk too. Like I think he's been starting him over downs most weeks. As
he
well.
has sometimes only because it kind of depends on the quarterback,
That's
I
his
guess, in
guy, huh?
Indy. But now he's with. He also loves Parker Washington. Like me and Gut have had conversations
So
centered around.
let me ask you
Parker
guys: would you rather
Washington.
have? I guess their roles and how they'll be used will be interesting, but I put more on Gabe Davis than Parker Washington. This is God. I would imagine flip flop here. Do you think that's?
I guess I haven't looked into the Jags injury situation enough to know who's out, who's in, and what's going on. So if like BTJ and Gabe Davis are both healthy, like I don't think you can throw Parker Washington into your lineup at all.
Right.
No.
Right.
That becomes an issue. But if they're all hurt, which like it kind of seemed like that at the beginning of the week, and now it seems less like that, I'd be okay with Washington like in my flex as a PPR guy.
What if it's just one of them?
That's
Like,
what I
let's
was
just
gonna
say if
say,
it's
yeah.
just BTJ.
If BTJ's out, I'm okay with Washington.
Yeah.
I guess I still don't feel great about it, but
That Jags offense just feels like it's going to be terrible.
It just feels like
Ingram's getting 20 targets.
Evan Ingram was
Evan
the
Ingram's
play.
like the only
For sure.
beneficiary from
Yeah,
this.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is like their defense is so bad though that they always have to play catch up and throw the ball a lot, which I think leads to a bunch of targets. But yeah, Washington felt a lot better 48 hours ago than he does now.
All right, continuing down, Nick, you put a $4 bid. Andrew, you put a $1 bid, another $1 bid. Going down to
Money
the other
beach.
Jag receiver, Gabe Davis, $20 bid from you, Adam.
This is what I was doing when Andrew's like, "Am I asking too much?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm telling you, I'm trying to."
You try to drop Ray.
Yeah,
you got
so
other
the
guy, sure.
order I had of waiver claims was just awful. I probably screwed it up a little bit, but
You're doing
that claim was for
trigonometry.
Ray first, and then for Trey Tucker,
I see. I mean, yeah, Trey Tucker's like not giving
You
you
went
much.
Gabe over
Davis.
Trey Tucker.
which is, yeah, I picked up Trey Tucker to fill an open spot I had on my team, but I don't know. I like him because he's to my high school, but he's just not getting it done.
Nah, he's definitely
Yeah,
not.
no, he's voted. All right, so Gabe, you're gonna be able to start him.
If he plays this week, I'm starting him for sure. I mean, I started this last week, Ray and Rome. So right now I may end up keeping Rome because I just don't have better options. But
who did Jacksonville play this week?
Philly.
Yeah, I mean, if BTJ misses the week, Gabe's a decent spot start for sure.
obviously Christian Kirk's a slot guy, but I think Gabe Davis is a guy that you're hoping boom or bust anyway. I feel like my bust potential on my receiver has already been high. So
yeah.
it's
Wait,
not.
does this mean? Sorry, do you not have room for Adam Thielen anymore?
I bid. I think I screwed up as I was going through some of the bids because I think I have room for Thielen. I just don't think I'm going to get him.
Fuck.
Wait, did you get lucky on Thielen?
I don't know.
Are you
I need
lucky?
to know.
That was a bad one.
A couple more bids on Gabe Davis. Nothing happened. Gut also picked up John Mechie. Dropped Trey
Mechie
Palmer
for 17. Damn.
That's gross.
All right,
Yeah.
I spent some crazy money too, but man,
Rest of the season.
I struggle with Mechie as a fantasy option, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just not interested.
I mean,
I'm more intrigued by Hutchinson than
There you go.
Mechie.
I mean, we said
When's
on
Nico
our
coming back? Week 10?
Next week.
next week.
Yeah.
We said on our wide receiver episode, like right now it's Tank Dell and nobody else. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tank Dell, Mixon,
that's fair.
Schultz.
Dalton Schultz is the next.
Like
answer.
Mechie or Zave could have like a good game, maybe, but
You're not confident enough to start him.
no, I'm not confident enough to spend real fab on him and or start him.
I
so.
guess that's the thing with like the future, not just 1 week. If you have to for a week, that's fine. But I also don't see much future value, even with all the injuries going on.
I kind of agree. Like, if you're going to spend probably $15 or more, that you either have to think that guy has long term, startability for you, or he's like a really good, like a starting running back
Spot
gets hurt, and you have like a high end RB2 because of the backup.
That's why for me it was definitely unnecessary. But for 30, it's like if there's ever a week where Guerendo's even with a halfway banged up Mason, like I'm playing him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The upside of him in the future, I think, is worth the spend. That's why I did that. Where this is like, it feels like I hopefully get a week out of Mechie because I don't know if it's going to be much after that. Sorry, Gut. I mean,
Gardner Minshew, you got him for $15.
All right,
congrats.
Drop Spencer Rattler.
Yeah,
I think that's a great pickup.
I think I spent $45 completely unnecessarily today. But yeah, we'll
Did
take
no
it.
one else go for Minshew? There you go,
$0.
zero.
$0.
Dub.
Nice.
So no Mechie bids, no Minshew bids.
Jay was just trying to keep him from me.
You're going to
just
start
keeping you
Minshew
honest.
like right away. You're going to play him this week.
Minshew right now is arguably my quarterback one for the rest of the season.
Nice.
I wish I didn't drop him last week, but it was like between Jordan Love, Derek Carr, and Brock Purdy, I was like, I'm never going to play Minshew, and then of course like Jordan Love's hurt.
Yeah, but I think my situation's gotten worse the last 2 weeks, so that's been part of it. But some of the reason I haven't been it's hard to hold people that don't, if you don't need him, right? It's hard to hold, you only have 6 roster spots on the bench.
Yeah.
It's hard to hold people.
I was
like
thinking
that.
about that. I was like, damn, I wish we like extended it to like 9 roster spots.
Hell no, because then waivers would be so bad.
Bro, we've
They're
already
already
we already like, it feels like the players that are supposed to be big pickups for the weeks already got craftily picked it up in the last 2 weeks every single time.
Dude, I was kind of thinking about that. I feel like some of the best waiver pickups just went like
Last
middle
week.
of the week, under the radar, $0.
Agreed. Yeah.
This is, I mean, one, that's when you're playing in a competitive league, that's going to happen. But two, also like the fact that it is such shallow, it makes us have to make tough roster decisions. So like I hear, especially in a year where there's a lot of injuries like this, or it feels like we have a ton of injuries where you want to have more roster spots, but it's kind of fun. I mean, it's not fun, but it's kind of fun to maneuver.
It's
through
kind.
some
What's
of the
kind of
stuff.
crazy is I'm going to end up. I think I must have screwed it up. I was trying to get it right at the end. I don't think I'm going to end up getting Thielen after all this. Too.
That's crazy.
God damn.
I also think that like you're saying, we're in a league where a lot of people are on top of it, so no one's going for like massive money because they're all kind of going a week earlier than you expect. Like if Cade Otton was still a free agent, at this point
going for
he'd
like
be
50,
getting
whatever,
right.
yeah.
But it's like
but
we're
last
always
week-
kind of getting them a week early for like 15.
Yeah, the only ones I think that are going to come that'll be in barrages later that haven't happened yet are like unforeseen situations where this guy is the clear number one because of an injury that you couldn't have projected.
Right.
Marshawn Lloyd.
Bang.
Yeah, shit
On the
like
waiver
that. But yeah,
wire.
you're right. Like I'm thinking about a lot of the pickups because I thought about all these like throughout the year. I'm just like I don't feel like dropping this guy for him. But like Tank Bigsby, I feel like was one of those
I
guys.
got him for free on like
midweek
on
a Friday. Bucky Irving was the same way for
for JL. JL spent money, but it was like I think if I'm remembering this correct, he spent like 25, but the next highest bid was like I think like 5.
I also think I think what happened is someone dropped Bucky, and I remember being like, I kind of want to pick Bucky up. didn't do it, and then JL picked him up like during he played really well that weekend, then picked him up, and I was like, I could have just had Bucky for fucking free.
You know what's crazy
That's happened a
too
bunch.
is week 1 I spent up on Tank Bigsby. I picked him up for like $18, but then my team was so banged up early on in the year that I was like, I got to cut Tank Bigsby. I can't.
That's the biggest conundrum right now is you can't hold people, and there's all kinds of players getting hurt. And then to me, the only consolation if you have no quarterbacks like this is last year, and I think is still the case right now. Remember how many quarterbacks got hurt last year and guys that were actually halfway decent in Superflex that are terrible quarterbacks, like freaking
Jake Browning,
or like Easton Stick had weeks. Like, it was just you don't want to be in the situation I'm in. I'm not trying to say that you do, but you might find options because there's only 6 roster spots for people to hold players. Like you couldn't even hold Minshew starting quarterback, right?
Yeah. Not as like a QB4.
Exactly.
Like I wasn't going to do that.
Right. Exactly.
I was going to stupidly take the shot on Dalvin Cook having a resurrection year.
I just dropped like 40% of my fab in a dynasty league on Dalvin Cook. That's
W.
Yeah. But again, it's like if Dalvin against the Niners got like every touch and they just phase out Zeke.
No,
like I feel like there was a chance that like next week Dalvin Cook's like you got to spend like 20 fab.
I mean, it's the same
yeah.
idea where like I did the exact same thing where I spent like all my fab in my dynasty leagues on Kareem Hunt.
I did that
weeks
too,
ago.
and now he's like my number 1 fucking player.
Dude, I'm playing him every week. But yeah, if Dalvin Cook did the same thing, it's the same idea.
Anyone who gets any sort of opportunity in a dynasty league, you just have to drop your fab on him. It's just like no one ever good.
All right, so after Minshew,
There you go, Tony.
Dude, brother.
Scumbag is back.
Remember
on the
I told you I
squad.
said I'm going to end up messing this up.
Dumbass.
Well, I told him, Andrew's like, he's asking, is this too much? I said, because he was asking me about a trade. And I'm like, yes, because right now I'm trying to get this in order, right? I am your idiot league mate for sure because I messed. I fumbled the bag. I had him.
I even stopped talking to you too.
It's not your fault.
Yeah,
I
was
should
gonna
have been
say
on top of it.
I let you do it, and damn.
I'm really surprised Thielen
Oh my!
I'm kind of
Went for-
disappointed you got me by 2, honestly.
max contract, you know.
Tough.
Who else? Did
Show 'em
anyone
love.
put bids on him?
You put a $6 bid on him
And 0.
and then a 0.
We said before this started, you were like, I put 11. You were like, I put 13. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I might get him. And I still did.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, with no Deontay Johnson,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
hopefully
it was
Andy Dalton's
it was
coming
a very
back.
good pickup.
Yep.
Great pickup.
If Dalton's back in the lineup, yeah, Thielen should get a bunch of targets.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of those guys where on the waiver wire you can project like he should have a safe enough floor to throw into your flex for multiple weeks to end the year. It felt like Adam Thielen
as
was
soon as
probably
Does
that guy.
Carolina put Dalton back in? They do, right?
Yeah, I think they do.
It is kind of tough. I could see them being
It was kind of like a perfect bridge for them to be like, he's kind of hurt. Let's see what Bryce has again. So
yeah.
if Bryce is terrible again, they're like, oh, Dalton's healthy again now. You know,
Right.
Dude, if they turn back to Bryce Young,
Well, that's the thing about.
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
I don't think it's like the most ridiculous thing. Like you did trade up and spend the number 1 pick on
He was
him.
always
Like,
going to get another
But
chance this season. So like this was kind of a perfect.
I
segue
also
into
don't
it.
think it's not like the Niners situation with Trey Lance where it's like you're a Super Bowl team. Like you just need a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
You're the Panthers, dude. You're not winning shit
It
anyways.
just doesn't. I think the whole going away in the first place was just. It just doesn't make sense if you
So-
were gonna go back right away.
That's the same thing with like a Rich you were talking about, where you can't drop him in that league because are you guaranteed one that Flacco's going to play that well? He's did well last year, but he was on the couch for a reason.
I'm shipping A-Rich to China. Bro.
I just I think there's a difference. Like there's a difference in play with A-Rich and Bryce Young. Bryce Young, like
For
I
sure.
think both of them don't have any confidence to be playing quarterback, but like there's been some good with A-Rich.
A-Rich can complete 8 passes for 30 fantasy points. That's
Yeah.
capable.
Shane Steichen has put him in terrible situations, but when you look at the stat line, it was 2 for 13. You're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think it's a lot of things going wrong in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Like the situation isn't helping, but neither is A-Rich. I kind of think that him getting benched this week is just like a slap on the wrist for him tapping out.
It could be.
I agree. I think it's Flacco's job right now until like anything goes wrong there. Sprains his thumb, plays poorly.
Well-
it's like, okay, let's get A-Rich back into the lineup kind
Yeah,
of thing.
and Flacco is he's a gunslinger. Really, the game where he played really well, and he cost us the game in Houston. Like,
Yeah.
he definitely can do
He
that
got
for
you there, and then he also killed you there.
Right.
Hopefully Minnesota just blitzes the shit out of Flacco this
See,
week.
that's going to be the fucking problem because like the games that A-Rich has struggled in last couple of weeks, Houston, Miami, those teams were blitzing at insane rates and getting crazy pressure. The escapes that he had in those games were insane. Flacco does not leave the pocket alive in any of those.
Well, if anybody can send a blitz, it's going to be Flores.
Right. So
Congrats. Well done.
I'm trying to think.
I'm excited
You
for
were
it.
Thielen lucky, huh?
If I didn't have Leggett, I probably would have. I think I would have outbid you. I probably would have put like 15 on him. I
You
wanna say.
like
So we
Leggett more
would've
than
tied.
Thielen rest of the season?
I do. Only because I
Assuming
like his
Andy
touchdown
Dalton's the starter.
celebration of hopping on the horse and riding that thing.
If Andy Dalton is starting, it's really close.
I think
It
I
kind
would.
of feels like in PPR Thielen.
I would
think
lean
I'd rather
Thielen,
have.
but
Dude,
they're
so
close.
Leggett, ironically, I've started Leggett twice this year, and it was both touchdown weeks. So I'm like kind of like I like Leggett because of that. Also, last week, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Bryce missed him. Like he
Yeah.
beat his
Big
man on like
time.
a pure 70-yard touchdown. If he hits that, like I think we're a lot higher on Leggett most likely.
For sure.
I like both of them. I will say in our league PPR, I think I'd probably lean Thielen.
I'm with you. This is for a team that has no room for error at all. This is a pretty bad one.
Yeah.
You're talking about the
Not
Panthers
Himself.
or you
No, well
yourself?
that too, but
Himself.
no, not getting Thielen here.
I mean,
Damn.
always open to trade.
I know, I know you are.
I didn't make a move for a fucking running back. So you got
What
one.
else do we got? I think I'm.
Alexander Madison.
This is your
for
second
Thielen?
time picking up Thielen, right?
Yeah, I mean, I picked it when Andy Dalton was announced the starter. I dropped 25 fab on him.
Yeah.
Felt
Are you
great.
gonna
Played
take
him.
the Madison?
He actually kind of got me a win
And then
because I beat someone by like 10 points, and I think Thielen had like 10. Like I didn't really have another option.
Yeah.
And then he got sent to IR, and due to other injuries like Nico and Rice and shit, I just like I don't have enough IR spots.
this is actually while trying to drop the bag and fumbling the bag. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You have 6 roster spots. You can't afford to keep a Thielen. So the waiver wire has these guys that are going to continue to shuffle in and out as there's more injuries.
Right. Like in hindsight, it would have been more beneficial to just keep Thielen and keep the 13 fab, but like
But there was probably
you
weeks,
never know where it's like maybe Deontay doesn't get traded.
Yep.
Maybe Leggett becomes the one. Like Bryce Young gets it. He could have been worth nothing. So
and
it's
there was
long
probably
season.
weeks for you especially the way you're like
maneuvering.
that you had no roster spots at all to hold on a week where you had a bunch of injuries and buys too.
Yeah. So after Thielen,
Let's see.
Zach Ertz gets picked up
Okay.
by JMO for $12. Drops Gibson.
Who's his tight end?
He has Bowers.
He had Bowers and he drafted somebody else.
Raider-
Chelsea, he moved him.
Yeah, he
That's
moved
right.
Kelsey.
Is Bowers on bye?
No, I don't think so. I
Which
think
is
it's just
why I'm-
Niners.
So why the hell are we picking up Ertz?
I'm not
for
sure.
$12?
I was thinking about it because I'm playing JMO this week, so I'm like, am I playing against Ertz?
Maybe he's going in that flex spot.
Nah.
He's got Pollard in the flex.
It's just a depth
This
piece, I guess.
motherfucker's projected the $150.
JMO's playing fucking 4D chess. Like he's like, I need to have another. I need to have another tight end.
He probably looked at Bowers' bye week whenever it is and saw Ertz
Crowd
maybe had
Ertz.
a good matchup.
But I'm saying
maybe.
he's able to think about things so far out and
That's what happens
play
when
that
you don't
game.
get any injuries.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's playing a different game than I am right now.
Right.
Lucky bastard.
We are probably the 4 most injured teams in the league for sure, right? Like throughout the course of the season.
Us 4?
I was there's no point knocking on what had already happened now. I was doing really clean outside of the CMC thing, and then it just
You were
all at
great, and then
once.
you got hit with like a tidal wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had been feeling bad for Tony every week. Like, damn, he just keeps getting hit. Damn, he keeps getting hit. And then
I feel
It
like
came
yours
from
has
me.
been trickling in every week. You kind of pick up one or whatever. We started off very heavy.
Mine was
with-
super front loaded.
Yeah.
And then it felt like we were kind of getting healthier. Now, in back-to-back weeks, I've cut Brandon Ayuk for the rest of the season. I've
And
cut
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs for the
Yeah.
rest of the season. Like, it's never ending, bro.
I think there's been teams like Sexy's been banged up, but when you lose like B-Rob and Malik, it's never been like for the season. It's
been
just
like
kind of
a
been on a
game.
week-to-week basis.
yeah.
Where I feel like us, it's like
Bro.
year changing.
That's
Cut
how
him
mine
because
read.
he's out the
This-
rest of the year.
All right, so after Ertz,
Elijah.
you got Elijah Moore for $6.
Yeah.
Pretty good bargain.
Wish
Nice.
I didn't now.
Nice little $6.
Like, I'd rather probably kept the $6. That motherfucker's gonna stink.
I feel like Elijah Moore.
I mean,
it's
Nah,
not.
he's. I'm fine.
if anyone,
I mean, I
if
could've
anyone
used
is to
him.
unlock Elijah, it's going to be Jameis.
I could have used him. I have 2 open wide receiver spots this week, and
I
would've
kind
been
of
a
just
nice
think
little
like
play.
his ceiling isn't very high. Like he probably won't score touchdowns, but like, could he just be
catch
almost-
5 footballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
They just have so many fucking receivers
Can I
there
tell
that
you-
are like okay.
One thing you and I both agreed on with Elijah Moore all last year because we were excited and didn't happen. The way in which he was being used, right?
Yep.
Kevin Stefanski, I don't know if you guys call it this, is not calling plays any longer.
I know it's Ken Dorsey.
And I'm just going to say it looked wildly different for a lot of reasons, but we got the offensive line, got Teller back, Jameis instead of Watson. But I
Might
guess
have to play more this week.
if you're going to have some confidence, I think it was so different on offense with Dorsey. It shouldn't have been, but it was. So maybe if there's some optimism, that would be it.
Hopefully.
I could definitely do worse with like random dudes on my bench.
Yeah, $6, 3%. It's nothing.
Whatever.
You outbid a couple people for Elijah Moore.
Get fucked.
Darius Slayton got picked up by Nate for $2.
Damn.
Kind of just feels like a handcuff. Drop Marcus Mariota.
The little
You
Jalen
got
Coker.
Jalen Coker.
I was thinking about it, and then I'm like,
You
I
got
don't
Coker
have any
and
room.
Pierce, actually.
2 goats.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude. I was just throwing fucking dollars out there. Like I said, lots of dollars gonna be spent. Jalen Coker, he looked good last week. I think we talked about Adam Thielen, the departure of Deontay Johnson. Maybe Jalen Coker gets a little bit more of a role in this offense. I don't know. At the end of the day, I might end up just dropping him today.
Yeah,
anyway,
right.
So
He's one of those midweek drops for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I've done that plenty of times. Pick someone up. Fuck it. Don't
that's
want
why
him.
I
Never
spent
mind.
$1 where it's like I just threw a bunch of claims in. Whoever I get. And if tomorrow I'm like, I don't want to start this motherfucker, kick him off the squad.
I actually think Alec Pierce is a great,
Stream.
desperate. I feel like you're never going to know when he pops off for 20, but any week he could.
You low key just got Jordan Addison on the waiver for $1.
Well, we just jokingly went through our wide receiver stuff, and I said deep cut play of the week for me. If you need to pick somebody up off waivers and stream, why not do Alec Pierce for Joe Flacco against the Minnesota Vikings secondary that struggled?
Nah, I don't.
Maybe
I will
don't know.
always respect an Alex Pierce play.
Whatever, fuck it.
Never do it, but
Spending
respect
dollars.
it.
Oh,
Wow,
and
you
Joshua
really
Palm.
just like
We could ignore the Josh
Family,
Palmer. I
it
don't know
feels
what
like
the hell
that's-
you're doing there.
I've again, in no position to talk. Feels like that's crazy that you were able to do that.
you just picked up the 3 woats.
Look,
for
man.
your
I
bench.
said so. So here's the thing.
Dog.
That stat line from Palmer is actually a lot better than I thought it was.
2 catches.
Yeah, they've been passing more. Cleveland secondary has been. Can let me just explain this a little bit, because the reason why I got into this situation is because I made a trade with Joe yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I made a trade with Joe where I gave him DeAndre Swift and Tyler Lockett, who were both starting for me this week. Swift was in my flex, Lockett was in my wide receiver 3. But I needed a wide receiver because, obviously, like I just said, I cut Diggs and Ayuk to season-ending injuries. So I get Deebo Samuel and Jamison Williams, who is suspended this week, and obviously Deebo's on bye. So my wide receiver room is just empty right now while I'm waiting on Jamison and Deebo to come back next week. And so I need plug-and-plays. So I was literally just looking at streaming options, like who could potentially have a good matchup against a bad secondary, and Pierce, Palmer, these guys were $1 throw-ins. These guys might actually hit my lineup this week, like legitimately.
Damn,
and that sounds
pathetic.
scary.
Would have been fantastic for you to do that last week.
But you know what? I play Nate,
Don't.
You mean Red Hot Nate?
Red Hot Nate.
Red Hot
also,
fucking beat the shit out of Adam Nate.
Don't. Just don't.
The GOAT.
But I do have a solid squad of Mixon, Saquon, Puka now in the lineup, like some other options that I feel like they can give me a good enough floor. Fuck it, I just need 10 out of these guys, Give me 10, man.
So everyone else picked up.
Yeah,
Jaleel. Okay.
Jaleel McLaughlin gets picked up for Zamir White. Whatever. And then, a couple unsuccessful claims by me.
Dub.
Westbrook Akini, Taysom
You're
Hill.
really out here doing exercise, though. I respect it.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised Taysom Hill didn't get picked up.
Me too. It was someone I highlighted in the waiver video just because everyone's hurt on New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like his floor is like he's just not even on the field. But we know Taysom Hill to have some crazy weeks where he's throwing the ball, running the ball, and against the Panthers,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if your team is playing the Panthers, I almost expect there to be like a minimum of 5 fantasy relevant players each week.
That's
against
fair.
them. You got at least 2 running backs, minimum 2 wide receivers, probably a tight end.
So you're saying I should drop Jalen Coker and pick up Taysom Hill and just start him in my flex?
Yeah.
I would
Taysom
easily
Hill
play-
over Coker. As a
I would
flex,
play Taysom over.
1000%.
Well, I guess it depends on
Well,
if Adam Thielen is playing or
as
not.
long as
Yeah.
if Thielen's out there, there's no chance. I'm putting Coker back on.
Well,
the
no,
bench.
I'm not necessarily saying I'm playing Coker. It's going to be 2 of the guys between Palmer, Pierce, and Coker. But
I mean, between those
you
three
would,
guys,
you
I
would
think
play
Pierce
Taysom
is
Hill over those
the
guys?
one-
I
Yeah,
would play
say
Hill
Taysom
over
all
Coker for
those.
sure.
What about Dalton Schultz? I just put Schultz on the waiver wire. You're playing him over those guys as well in the flex?
Yeah.
It just feels so tough playing a tight end in the flex right now because
I feel like I might play Pierce there over.
I would play Pierce over
know.
Taysom, I
mean,
think.
Not to shit on Nate too much, but you probably just need like solid 9 out of your flex. That's probably Schultz more than it is.
let's
I didn't get it done versus Nate.
Shane
so.
Steichen came out. He said Joe Flacco will be the starter for the foreseeable future.
Well-
Essentially, it's his job to lose. Joe gives us the best chance to win right now.
Again, I think
send him to China.
I still think that kind of goes on the narrative of like he's kind of getting punished for tapping out.
I think that's more so of
I think they
we
truly
want
believe,
Joe Flacco to play the rest of the year.
I
if
think they
he's
believe
good
Flacco
enough.
gives them the best chance. I was saying this before, like, I mean, they were in the playoffs last year. They did this with Minshew. So if they believe they have a better roster, they could do what they did last year with Joe Flacco under the helm in a not much weaker, but like a division that's not great.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny. The Browns, there's 100% no doubt in my mind, and everyone would kind of agree, I think, that the reason the Browns didn't retain Flacco is they didn't want that type of overlooming
Controversy.
Yeah, where like if Watson started like he did this year,
Right.
that you determine it to go to Joe.
Right.
Like, you bring in a guy like Joe, there's definitely a case where you put him on the field and Rich is looking as poor as he is, then
I mean,
the team is ready to pivot. If they got a whole locker room of 50 plus guys that thinks they can win right now. Like Rich tapping out plus not playing well, it's hard probably to
when
put
you
him
got
back
the
out there.
GOAT, Jameis on the bench too. Like everybody's ready for him to come in too. So
Well, that's true. But
represent the team on our helmet. Well, we ain't got no decals, so
Another goat.
you know what I
quote.
mean.
Send them to fucking China.
Send them to
Send them
China.
all to China.
Every person I picked up today, I'm sending them all to China today.
Zamir White actually deserves to be in China.
It feels like it's gonna be one of the waiver episodes.
Yeah. We'll get off into a different tangent.
Let's pop off.
let's go.
Let's
crazy.
sound
Let's
the
go,
fuck
Queen.
off.